Hey everyone, I'm Armor Gaming, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Monster Legends. Today we have a monster analysis on the upcoming Golden Legends Pass monster, Tremur. So if you've been wondering whether or not you should purchase July's Legends Pass, hopefully this video helps you out because really one of the biggest reasons to buy the Golden Legends Pass is for that rank 3 monster. So it's going to be Tremur. So with that being said, let's jump into the analysis. After Warmaster Zara crushed his revolution, Nadiao didn't have many friends or allies in the Cardinal Forest. Slowly but surely he became lonely and paranoid. He had no one to speak to, so he made up an imaginary friend called Tremur. Nadiao and Tremur held heated discussions about the future of the forest, and to Nadiao's despair, Tremur always won those debates. Even though he was his imaginary friend, he was very aggressive. One day, Nadiao was in a particularly grumpy mood, fighting against himself, or Tremur. When he smashed his staff against the floor, a dusty smoke rose up and Tremur came to life, as grumpy and aggressive as he was in Nadiao's imagination. So Tremur is literally a figment of Nadiao's imagination. That is interesting. So here we have this monster. He's going to be a nature mythic monster, and he is a nature controller with stun and healing skills. He can activate the enemy's cooldowns and gain an extra turn, or stun and poison all the enemies. He can also apply Mega Stun to an enemy or support an ally by removing its negative effects and applying double healing to it. Tremur has an evolving trait. Alright, here goes. At rank 0, he's immune to stun. This is super useful. At rank 1, you're immune to torture. Yes! This is honestly, immunity to torture for mythic monsters is one of the best traits they can have. I kid you not. It makes them so hard to kill. They become so darn tanky that you can't just apply some dots and just wither the HP away. You literally have to take them out with brute force. And it's tough, especially like if you have a monster and a taunt monster, and now because you have that taunt monster is tanking all the single target strong attacks, the only way to damage this monster is going to be with an AoE, and AoEs are just not as strong as single target attacks. So you can really create some great synergies where this monster becomes really difficult to take down. At rank 3, you get a status caster, double healing at the start of the battle. Cool, you give this monster life regen and then he becomes even harder to kill. I gotta say, I'm a huge fan of the permanent immunity to torture as a trait. So this monster cannot be stunned or mega stunned, which helps against battling like a mirror match himself, and he has that permanent torture immunity. That is awesome. And then the double healing, this could come in handy. You gotta watch out for reverse healing, but other than that, it's really not too much of a problem. Alright, with that being said, let's talk about his stats. His life stat comes in at 53,082. To be completely honest, this is rather low, and I guess the reason they made it rather low was because of the immunity to torture trait. That being said, his life stat is actually titled with that of Zorky, Froma, and Morgs, just to give some context. His power stats, his power stat 5104. This is officially the lowest power stat, tied with Moonhaze. So everyone, welcome technically the weakest mythic monster, tied with Moonhaze in terms of power stats. And then his speed stat, it's right around the middle, 4818. So honestly, there's nothing too special in terms of his stats. As far as relics, he can hold the amulet and the banner. Those are pretty good relics. The amulet, he can recover life. I mean, nowadays, like every relic can do everything. The banner, you have access to charging banner, Darman's banner. This will help against fire attacks. You have, what else? Ingvar's banner. So you guys know the drift. In terms of books, you are a villain, an evil legion, and a spirits monster. Alright, now let's talk skills. So is this monster worth getting? Let's find out. Nature Ambush. And remember, if you purchase this monster, you are going to get him up to rank 3. So you will have the stun immunity, the torture, and the self double healing. Alright, but going back to skills, Nature Ambush deals heavy nature damage to an enemy. I gotta say, that's a pretty powerful attack. 45 damage over cooldown. Too bad he has low power. His other attack, Toxic Rooks, deals low nature damage and applies poison. I kind of inferred that from the name, AoE poison. Alright, tier 1, we have negate healing to all enemies. Not reverse healing, negate healing. So basically, if you were supposed to heal by 100%, you'll heal by 0%. So you won't take damage, it'll just nullify the healing. So this is actually, I would say, Taxes, it could be really useful because there are so many relics right now in the game that heal so much. So how nice would it be to just apply this negative effect, negate healing, and now the enemy can't recover. They can't recover with life regen, they can't recover with their relics activating. Reverse healing would have definitely made this monster more menacing, but I guess I'll take the negate healing. Time for a Berry applies life regen to itself. It is 1 turn cooldown, no stamina cost, so this can obviously synergize really good with the self double healing. Essentially, if you have life regen with self double healing, that becomes a 50% heal. Yeah, you literally heal 50% of your HP with that double healing. In tier 2, we have Earth Sprouts. Deals moderate nature damage to one enemy, applies mega stun to one enemy. So we have a 40 damage, 3 cooldown skill, 33 stamina. It is a mega stun. Pretty straightforward. It'll stop an enemy for 2 turns by means of stunning. And then we have Sapling Tears, removes negative effects and applies double healing to one ally. So this is good because it's a cleansing skill, and the double healing could come in handy, even if the double healing doesn't actually work out for you. I mean, nowadays, again, with relics, it could work with the advantage of the relic. But what I will say is that just the removing negative effects, that can be super useful in itself. Imagine a situation where the next monster in the turn order is your mythic attacker and they just got possessed, or maybe they got stunned because the enemy, let's say you fought a cat UFO and cat UFO did an AoE stun. Well, you're immune to stun, but your ally got stunned. Hey, let me just remove your negative effects, and hey, now you're free to attack. So anytime a monster has some sort of immunity to a specific form of deny, stun, possession, freeze, and they have a cleansing skill, you can even do a manipulation where you give Tremur 3 speed runes to go second in the turn order, assuming the enemy's faster than you, and then you put your attacker mythic monster to go second in the turn order, or I guess third overall after Tremur. That way, when your Tremur doesn't get stunned, you cleanse the stun from your attacker and your attacker attacks. So that's always a strategy you can utilize, so I'm a fan of that. And let's see. Tier 3, we have Ancient Wood. Activates all cooldown on one enemy, gives 1 extra turn to itself. I mean, this is pretty straightforward. That's awesome. Let me single target whoever I need to. Let me activate that monster's cooldown. And with my extra turn, let me mega stun whoever I need to. You've essentially denied 2 monsters just like that in the snap of a finger. You cooldown activated one, you mega stun the other. How cool is that? And then we have Whip of the Trees, deals moderate nature damage to all enemies, applies stun and poison to all enemies, requires cooldown. So then you have an AoE stun as well. And so if you need to, let's say you're in a mirror match, you do the Ancient Wood on another Tremor, activate Tremor's cooldown, and then you AoE stun and you stun the allies. See how that works? It's awesome. But again, in a mirror match, Tremor would then be able, if he's running Sapling Tears, would be able to remove the stun from one of the allies. So see that synergy? See how that works? That's pretty awesome. So Tremor is actually the monster who's dubbed like the knockoff Grakon, because if you've ever seen Grakon's skill set, he can do the Mega Stun, he can do the AoE Poison, he can do the AoE Stun, he can do the extra turn skill, he can do the cooldown activation. So obviously not in the same league of Grakon. Grakon's skill set is far superior, trade and everything, being able to revive and everything. But I gotta say, for a mythic monster, especially the type of mythic monster we've seen, Tremor's skill sets, I'm actually a big fan of him. I can see this monster with 3 speed, specifically to counter stun. I can see this monster with team speed, and just having him go last in the turn order to activate whoever cooldown you need to activate, to mega stun whoever you need to activate, maybe full stun everyone, apply that poison to reduce the damage output. But definitely I see this monster as either going first and denying, you know, mega stun, cooldown activation, 2 monsters, or AoE stunning everyone, or I see this monster as team speed and going last like I said. Let's see, Feel My Roots removes positive effects from all enemies and applies Mega Stun. Fantastic ultimate. They're immobilized for 2 turns. If they have evasion, you remove that as well. I gotta admit, I like Tremor. For a Golden Legends Pass monster, considering the era we're in right now with mythic monsters, I'm actually a pretty big fan of him. If you've been deciding whether or not you want this monster, I would say at rank 3, he's definitely gonna be useful. He can also synergize with, I don't know who it is. I think it recently got released. There's a mythic monster that starts the game off with life regen. So, you know, just imagine synergizing those 2 monsters. Tremor starts the game off with self double healing, and then the regen monster, I mean, just has life regen, so then it helps out. I don't know, I don't think it's a team life regen, but yeah, like, I think right now we're seeing so many mythic monsters come out where the synergies are just sticking out. Like, hey, these 2 monsters work really well because your traits work really well. Hey, this monster can deny, this monster's the attacker, this monster's the tank. So it's interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see what else they come up with. I gotta say, like I said, I am a fan of this nature mythic monster, but that's just my opinion. Now I want to hear from all of you guys. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about this monster? Do you like him? Do you dislike him? Is he worth purchasing the Golden Legends Pass? Granted that you're going to get him at rank 3. Any now thoughts, whether it be about the Golden Legends Pass or specifically about this monster, his analysis, what skill set would you run? Please let me know in the comments below. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching this video. Remember to subscribe.